Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic, profitable, all around fantastic day. I'm so glad you're here with me. And we have something fun planned today. It was a question that someone asked not that long ago about how do I make quick money? We're going to be talking about that. There's ways to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it, actually. We're going to be talking about one of those and maybe a few more in today's episode. But before I get to that, I want to do that formal welcome where I tell you, hi, my name is Jim Landers, and my mission is simple. I help photographers, especially portrait photographers like you, make a great income doing what they love. Each week, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so that you finally get what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to Portrait Profits. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. And with us today, we have Amanda from Digital Pro Lab. Hi, Amanda.
Hi. How's it going, Jim?
Have you had a great week so far? I mean, it's only noon on Monday, so.
I know, so far so good. It's a good Monday. I've got my coffee in me, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a vacation recently. You don't have to tell me anything about it, but you said it was refreshing and invigorating. How's that feel to have that feeling afterwards? I'm often tired when I come back.
I think it depends on the vacation that you take. There are those types of vacations that you plan your itineraries out and say, okay, I got to be here at this time, got to go there at this time. Then we've got to get back into a car if you're traveling across country to move to the next city. Those are kind of necessary but exhausting trips if you really want to explore the world. Then there's the trips like the one we took. We just went to Playa Mujeres in Mexico, and it was completely focused on rest and relaxation, and didn't really plan much other than when I felt like going to a pool, I went to a pool. If I went to a spa, I went to a spa. Otherwise, I was eating and having a nice margarita. And those are the ones that make you come back glowing. So hopefully you can see my glow a little bit. So it's been good. I'm ready to get right into our busy seasons because I know that's coming in for everybody as our Christmas season rolls in. We've got a lot to do. We've got products coming out. We've invested in quite a bit of equipment here at Digital Pro Lab. I don't know if y'all follow my social media account at Digital Pro Lab, but yeah, we invested in about 4-5 different pieces of equipment. So you're going to see things like wall murals starting to come out. You're going to see stickers, which we've got a lot of customers that have been requesting stickers. We've recently upgraded our gallery wrap canvas product to a higher grade canvas that we didn't actually turn and say, hey, we're going to charge our customers more for. We've already implemented it. It's a far more durable canvas with a longer longevity. So it's really exciting stuff. I always love getting in there and working on the equipment and creating new workflows and testing products. And then we also work directly with our customers to get feedback from them. They let us know kind of what they like, what they hope Digital Pro Lab can do. And those are the investments that we make as a company. We reinvest back into our customers and into the things that we do for our community. So that's, first and foremost what we like to do. So, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. We appreciate all that you do, and Amanda and your team there at Digital Pro Lab. We know you guys are working tirelessly, but we also know that you love this stuff. And because it shows, the pride that you have when you work there, the pride that shows online, the pride in your clients. When someone asks the question of who can help me with this, you always see Digital Pro Lab on that list. And so that's that alone is an uplifting thing, but it's because of the work that you do, because of the effort you put in, and because it's not something you're just, got to go to work today. No, you're loving this stuff. You probably get up thinking, woohoo, I get to go to work today.
Yeah, I love the challenge of what we do, and I love the fact that I call them our customers, but really they're partners. And whenever somebody comes to me with a question or a request, it's not something that I just say, okay, whatever. It's something that we truly mull over and say, okay, how can we implement this? How can we get that going for them? Because we're only as good as our customers make us. So we're constantly trying to be the best lab that we can for them based on the requests and the needs, because they're the ones that are right on the ground, getting the requests from their customers, or, the really, really creative thinkers that are supposed to be there in the market, becoming trailblazers, because there's a lot of competition in photography, depending on what markets that you're in. And you got to carve out a path for yourself. And sometimes you carve out that path with a specific type of product. And, some of our partners will go and look at multiple labs, or they come to us directly and say, Amanda, I really want you to create this because I want to work with a local lab in San Antonio, if you're here in San Antonio, so that money funnels back into our community, which is why it's so important to work with a local lab. But also know that there are products that we're creating that even some of our other customers have no idea that we offer, because we're creating custom products only for a specific photographer, because we like to get really creative with them. And within our Rose ordering system, when you log in, only you would be able to see that product that we're custom creating for you. And a lot of people don't even know that we can do that. But here's my tip for today. You don't know what's possible until you ask.
That's
And
so
I
true.
love when our customers come and ask us for something very specific. One, it challenges us to do something different, which is what pushes us forward. And two, it gives you an edge in the market, that, a lot of our customers think, well, just because you add it or we add that product, that means all other photographers can do it too. That's not necessarily true with Digital Pro Lab. We can actually custom create that product, again, where only you see it, because that's something very custom that we make for you and want to give you a specific edge in the market. But again, the tip, if you don't ask, you don't know what we can do. And there's 150,000 things that we can do for you. But it takes a conversation, and I welcome anybody calling me, emailing me at amanda@digitalprolab.com, asking me specifically a question, and then I'll get my entire team behind that so that we can actually work for you so that you can be better at what you do.
You're so fantastic, you guys. Digital Pro Lab rocks. That's one more reason. You guys already rock. But the fact that you're willing to go out of your way, that you love doing whatever it takes to make things work. What better business partner could we as photographers have?
That's me.
Makes perfect sense. All right. So thank you so much, Amanda. And Amanda has some promo codes that she's going to give at the end. I assume you want to wait to the end.
Actually, I can give it at the beginning.
Do you want to tell them now? Okay.
Yeah. So we've gone over this, right? So Digital Pro Lab is right there in our community trying to help. And one of the things that we've been partnering with somebody on is the Elevate exhibition that's coming up on October 18th. This is an exhibit specifically geared towards photography and showcasing photography, especially in the portrait and wedding sector, not only for photography, but also for videography. It's supposed to be an elevated event. So it's not just going to be something that you go t-shirt and jeans to support your local photographer. This is going to be business attire. Everybody goes in. It's at a beautiful venue called Herman Sons that's located in the heart of downtown San Antonio. Beautiful historic building. So it's going to be a different type of event than what most people are used to going to. It's going to be exciting, and we've got several featured artists that are going to be showcased. And the other thing is, you can actually, as a photographer, if you're a portrait, if you're wedding, even if you're fine art photography, you can be one of those featured artists. And I want you to go to elevateexhibition.com And if you sign up to be one of those featured artists, Digital Pro Lab is actually giving you a promo code with your sign up to receive 50%, or sorry, let me correct that, 15% off of all your orders at Digital Pro Lab now if you sign up today through October 18th, and 50% off of any monitor calibration that you get through our company. Because the really important thing if you're editing your images is to make sure you're editing them on a calibrated monitor. 9 out of 10 photographers don't realize that your monitor needs to be calibrated. The one thing I always say, it's just like a musical instrument needing to be tuned. Your monitor, your computer is your instrument, and it does need to be in tune if you're going to be playing on it or editing, right? So that monitor calibration is really key. So again, if you sign up to be a participant for the Elevate exhibition, again on October 18th, and there are some perks that Digital Pro Lab is going to be giving you. So I encourage everybody, if you've never shown before, this is a great group of people that want to help each other, are there to support each other. If you've never shown, let this be your first event that you show at, not only because you get some great perks, but also because you want to really ingrain yourself in the community of creatives that are here that enrich our San Antonio area. And you don't get better until you kind of see what other people are doing, and it's a really good creative space, and we challenge each other in our community when we do things like this. So I encourage everybody, if you're interested, to participate in this event. And time is running out, so please do that today, do it tomorrow. And if you need help with your printing, of course, we'll be here for you too. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, I've been helping out just like Amanda has with Elevate Exhibition. So maybe we're a little bit biased, but the reason why we decided to be a part of this event is because we believe in it. And so, yeah, of course we have a bias. What human who cares doesn't? So yeah, of course, we believe in Elevate Exhibition. We believe in Tara Eggy, the organizer, and we believe in the entire board that's been working tirelessly for months putting this together, because it is going to elevate us as photographers.
Mm-hmm.
You know how Amanda and I are always doing things, finding things, whatever it takes to uplift other photographers. It's beneficial to us all to uplift other photographers. When we uplift ourselves, we're uplifting other photographers by default, because people are looking at what it is that we do. This Elevate exhibition gives you an opportunity to show off your work in kind of a you're still going to have anxiety. You're still going to be, because you care about your work, you care about how it's received. And so sure, you're going to have some anxiety, but this is a great marketing tool. Elevate exhibition alone is a good marketing tool, but it expands into more, because if you've never done an exhibition before, you now learn all the steps that go into it. Amanda can help you out on the printing side. An extremely important variable. Yes, you've got to choose the right image, but then getting it printed just right makes a big difference. So this process of learning how to exhibit is beneficial to you as portrait photographers, because one of the things that is very beneficial on the marketing side is showing off your work. Lots of different ways to show off your work. And so this is a good opportunity. You're around other photographers. The public isn't invited. It's quite possible that media will be there. There's no way that it can be guaranteed. We've talked to them, and they have an interest. In fact, they've interviewed both Tara Eggy and myself, and it hopefully will air. But they can't guarantee even that interview is going to air. So this is exciting, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Don't miss out. Don't look back at it afterwards and say, you know what, I should have taken Amanda's advice. I should have taken Jim's advice. I should have been a part of Elevate Exhibition. You want to be a part of this. This is something different. ElevateExhibition.com. See you there, I hope. Thank you, Amanda, for sharing that, and for the percentage, the discounts that you're giving for those who are participating. So, in addition to the help and extra time you're spending, you're also, giving that discount, so it's time and money that you're donating to Elevate. So you rock.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, thank you. So is there anything else you need to share before I move forward?
I think that's good. I think that covers what we do, what we're doing for our community. And then, of course, as always, thank you for your commitment to helping our community through Portrait Profits and everything else that you're doing. So I look forward to today's lecture. I know it's going to be an interesting one. What's the title? Quick money, quick profits.
Quick money. That's
yeah,
right.
I'm eager to hear what you say.
Oh, you know what? I just looked at the comments, and there is a comment about Elevate. So maybe I should post. I've got one that says Facebook user, so I don't know who it's from. And by the way, if you guys want to, up at the top of the post, it says StreamYard permission, I believe. If you click on that, it'll show your name and image in the space where it says Facebook user. So do we take easels for this expo, or they provide? When you sign up and reach out to them based on what you have, they're going to tell you where you're going to be. It could be a wall, it could be an easel, and so you do have to sign up in order to know which it's going to be for you. And so it could be an easel, and I don't believe you're going to need to bring it. I think they're going to have that. But you will get that information when you've signed up as far as where you're going to be. That part won't be immediate. It'll take a while because they have to organize and put everything in place. But some will be on the wall, some will be on easels.
Yeah, and it depends on, I think, what ticket level you purchase as an exhibitor,
Right.
you know, which priority you're going to get. And then, of course, first come, first serve. If they have some spaces, they're going to prioritize those to those that are signing up first. So I encourage you, sign up today if you haven't. If you're considering it even a little bit, sign up today.
I agree. Totally agree. And looks like one more. How big? These need to be a good size. I've come across people that think 8 by 10 is big. I know, Rick, you wouldn't think that, but gosh, I come across people who think 8 by 10 is big, and that just surprises me. 16 by 20 is by far the smallest you're going to want for this event. 16 by 20. But I would want a bit larger than that. What do you think, Amanda?
I want to say it depends on what level you get, what size is the largest. I definitely think 8 by 10 is going to be too small. 11 by 14, unless you're matting it for 16 by 20. You know, you could do that, but otherwise, yeah, 16 by 20, 20 by 24, 20 by 30 are going to be good sizes. Anything bigger than that, you do want to talk to Tara, the organizers of Elevate, and just confirm those sizes. And we'll be talking to her as well here pretty soon to just iron out all those details so that when you're coming in to place your order for your prints, or if you want to give me a call, I'll know those answers pretty readily as well.
Perfect. All right. I think that's all the questions that I saw on that one. All right. So thank you, Amanda. And yeah, quick money. Someone asked me a question and I figured, well, let's do a whole lesson on that, because there are ways to make quick money in photography. Yeah. Amanda, are you going to come back on at the end again?
I don't think so.
Or to be determined? To
be determined. I'm going to watch for sure.
All right, cool. Thanks, Amanda.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Isn't she awesome? We've got a lot of wonderful people right here in this area. I know that some of you watching aren't in this area, so let me tell you what this area. We're coming to you from San Antonio, Texas, and we have this is the 7th largest city in the U.S. There's a lot of things here in San Antonio that are pretty interesting. San Antonio is 303 years old, so it's not a new city. It was founded in 1718, but enough of the history lesson of San Antonio. The bottom line is there are some wonderful resources right here in this area, and just feel wonderful and blessed to be here in San Antonio. So today I am bringing to you quick money. Now, okay, I'm not bringing you quick money. That's the title of what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about how to make some quick money. So I got this question, and you guys probably saw it. I got a question that said, all right, first they started off with a compliment and acknowledgement of what I've been doing. That was cool. They said, I really appreciate what you've been doing. Thank you so much. What Is there a way to make quick money? Because I mean, it seems like some of the ways you've been saying, I see it and it makes sense, but man, that's like long term, and I need some money now. Is there a way to make quick money in photography? Yes, there is. There are ways to make quick money in photography, and so let's talk about some of those. I'm going to be. Let's see if I can share this. I think I can. I have to get rid of that banner first, though. I'm going to share a handout with you. I'm going to be going back and forth with it. Share my screen. There we go. And of course, when I do that, my screen disappears. So I assume that's showing right now. All right. Well, I'll just think that it is showing. Okay. Thanks, Amanda. Amanda behind the scenes sent me a text saying it's showing. So thank you. All right. Quick money. All right. So sometimes we just need a boost, a monetary motivation. For those times, I want you to follow these next steps. There's 12 of them total, but some of them apply, some of them don't. It depends on what kind of work you do. But I want you to follow a certain series of steps and experience some of that monetary motivation, because I want that to come into your life. Before you get too excited, though, I want you to be very well aware this is not easy. It may be quick, relatively speaking, but it is not easy. You're going to have to put in some work, some extra hours. You might lose some sleep because of the extra hours. But if you're willing to do what it takes, monetary motivation, here I come. Quick note, quick is relative. Marketing efforts take a while to, many marketing efforts take a while to make a difference. The steps that we're going to go over today in this lesson will be the shorter term options. Number one, define your timeline. I hope you're taking notes. By the way, I want to encourage you to take notes. I want to encourage you to comment in the comment section and make sure that you give permission to StreamYard to show your comment and your name and your image so that I know where it's coming from. But I want you to comment. I want you to like and love as you feel is appropriate. But sure, interact and if I can get to those questions, I certainly will. Let's see. There we go. Switched off again. Define your timeline. We're beginning with now, of course. We can't go back into the past, although that would be cool. But when do we want to make that quick money? By the end of the year? Is that how you define quick? Okay, then by the end of the year. What about if you define it within the next month or two? All right, then that's how you define it. How about if you define it as in the end of next week? By the way, if you're defining it by the end of today, there are ways to do that too, but we're really not going to go into quite that yet. But there's ways to do that too. I'm talking a little bit more robust because I want to give you guys something really to work with, some real steps here. So define the range of time in which you want to plan, implement, execute that plan, sell a session, visit with prospects, schedule sessions for clients, photograph them, pulse session steps, image previews, artwork, printing, packaging, framing, delivery. Wait a minute, you said this is going to be short. Yeah, you're aware that there are a lot of steps to a photographer's process. Hopefully you've taken the time to write out what your processes are from the time a prospect contacts you to the moment they become a prospect, or excuse me, a client. What are your steps? What are the things you're doing? Emailing back and forth, phone calls, texting? What are you doing to cause that person? What are the steps? You aren't just crossing your fingers hoping that they'll call you back, are you? People are busy. Follow-up is key in this game. What about from the moment they become a client through whatever your last step is with them? For me, it's installing their photographs on the wall. But for you, that might be something different. So from the moment they become a client till whatever your last step is, and by the way, based on what it is you do, if you do several different things, then this is different for each type of work that you do. For instance, if I'm doing headshots for someone who just needs their image for LinkedIn, then I don't have anything to install on their wall. It's a digital file that I'm giving them. But I still have a series of steps that I go through to make sure I don't make any mistakes, don't let anything fall through the cracks, and make sure things happen in a timely manner. The next is, what about your preparation process for a session? What are the things you're doing to prepare? Making sure that you have charged battery, making sure that your media card is in your camera, in your case, and that it is not full of other images. What are your steps to prepare? How about your post-session process? What do you do once you have completed a photography session? What are all those steps? How about sharing your images? Some do a post and pray where they put their photographs online and they hope that somebody buys. There's times when that's appropriate, like weddings, certain events. Yeah. Family portraits. There's rare occasion where it is, but not usually. But what is your process? What are the steps that you take in order to get those images ready for sharing with your clients so that they can purchase, so they can choose? What about your post once they have ordered prints? What do you do? Or ordered, or maybe it's digital files, but once they have ordered, what are your steps? Make sure you have done this. Write out your processes. Every single one. If you've got lots of different things you do, you need processes for every single thing you do. I definitely recommend you narrow that down, and we'll talk about that. But for purposes of today's lesson, quick money. You may choose to purposefully decrease the number of steps. For instance, mini sessions significantly reduce the number of steps and the amount of time between now and depositing your monetary motivation. So let's talk about some of those money-saving options. Now, note, if you are a full-service portrait photographer, these tools that we're going over should not always be employed. If you're a full service, you should be doing the full stuff. These cutting corner things are very specific to certain types of photography, and they aren't always cutting corners, because some business models, this is what they do all the time. But if you're a full service, this is cutting some corners relative to what you normally do. So these tools should not be always employed. But we are specifically today talking about quick money. So that's why we're going over these. Don't think that this is the norm and this is how I do it. This is when I need to make quick money, or there's a special project I'm working on. All right. So there's 3 timelines I want you to put together. You guys taking notes? Give me a yes in the comments if you're taking notes. Are you taking notes? I'll watch. I can see the comments over here on the right. 3 timelines. I want you to do this on the large dry erase board, if you have one. But if you don't, that's fine. I want you to get a long string with some thumbtacks and Post-it notes to put on the string. But I want you to see this visually. 3 things. 1, calendar. Now, this may be something you have on a physical calendar you have on the wall. I have one of those laminated calendars that I have my dry erase for some things and my wet erase pens for other things. I use the Vis-a-Vis because that works best for me. The dry erase works fine on those. The problem is if you happen to rub up against it, it goes away. So that's why I prefer the wet erase for that particular thing. That's an aside. But calendar. I want you to put the dates that this is your when you build your processes, you're going, and that's number 2, writing out your process, but you're going to put these on your calendar. What are all the steps that you need to take, and when do you need to take them? So you can visualize them, you can see them. Not only do you have a list of the processes, you've got them on the calendar. You know when you're supposed to be doing something. If you are in the middle of a day and wondering what you're supposed to be doing, it generally means you could use a little bit of increased help on your planning. It just means planning. That's all it is. More planning. So not only dates of the things on your processes, but your money goals. When do you want this money by? There's also different ways to receive it. So sometimes you're receiving it at the time you're doing the session. There's also times when you're receiving it up front. That can certainly reduce the amount of time between now and money in your account. Number 2, write out the processes that the client must take to first get on your schedule. What do they have to do? What's their process? Do not do this from your point of view. Number 2 is from your client's point of view. Don't even remotely enter in you into this picture. What does a client have to do in order to do business with you? Write it out. For some of you, this is going to be an eye-opening experience. What do they have to do to get on your schedule? Second, the session, the viewing of their images, the ordering of the products, etc. That should be an etc., not an and. What are the things that they have to do at every step of the process? And, that is supposed to be an and. How will they receive their order? How do they do that? Now, what happens when they receive? Are you delivering it? Are you mailing it? Or is it a digital file? How are they receiving their order? So that's from their point of view. Number 3, write out your process. This is your point of view, the photographer's point of view. What are all the steps that you must take from the point they initially contact you? And that's a prospect stage at that point, all the way until where they have received their order. What are all the steps? And put this out on a timeline. Now, the number 2 and number 3, those are not on your calendar just yet. Have those on, if you've got a string on the wall, just say, this is what happens in that order. And on each Post-it note, I was about to show you a Post-it note, but my dog got a hold of it. So on each Post-it note or piece of paper, write down what it is you're doing and how long it's going to take. Keep it simple on these Post-it notes and just have that drawn out. And I like to pin both ends and then place those on. And then when I'm not using it, I unpin one side and let it just fall straight. So it's just not going across all the time. But I like to leave it there. I like to see it whenever I need to see it and make adjustments to it. So there are, looking at that gold box here on the side, there are no tools at the tool store that can do everything, you guys. We photographers are all just tools in a tool store. Just because you can press the shutter release button in front of everything does not make you the right tool for the job. Any more than a hammer is the right tool when you're trying to mow the lawn. Thinking, I believe I can do that, does not raise you to the level of expert or even proficient. Interesting. That's not proficient. That's proficient. It raises you to the level of a hack. Now, that may be a little harsh, but it is specific because I want you to realize, I want you to do something that is the best work, something that you get the most enjoyment out of. Because your clients are going to see that energy in you, that motivation, that dedication. And when you're trying to get quick money, they need to see that right off the bat. So don't just do something because you can, do it because you love it. You thoroughly enjoy it. And so number 2 is defining your service, your product categories. Choose 1 or 2, just a few. I say choose 1 for quick money, but you do what you feel is best. Not 27, The reason I say 27 is because there was one time I was visiting a photographer's website. Not going to say who. But this person said, I specialize in, and I counted the number of things that this person specializes in. There were 27 things listed there. Hey, we're creatives. I guess we create our own definitions as well. You go. So you must be known for doing something. You'll never be known for being the best at everything. So if you have more than one, all right, I understand. From this following list, and you can create your own, of course, but circle the types of photography you want to do. No need to edit it yet. Just go crazy and choose whatever you want. The number of choices for now is irrelevant, but I want you to just write down right now on your notes, write down what it is you like to do. What do you want to do? What are you doing? What do you want to do? Write it down. Take a moment to write that down. I'm going to keep on keeping on, but take a moment. Write that down. Is it on location portraits in studio? Is it bridal? Is it engagement? Is it executive portraits, headshots, animal portraits, like photographing families? I do. How about children's portraits, maternity, newborn, glamour, models, boudoir, fashion, schools, high school seniors, sports teams, whatever it is you enjoy photographing. I want you to write that down. Write that down. Cool, Rick. I hadn't looked at the notes for just a little while, so I'm looking at the comments. Hey, JR, how are you doing? Glad you're here. I like that. Thanks, Julie. Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of you on here. Very good. Love seeing that. All right. So, have I given you enough time to write down what it is you like to do? I wasn't planning on giving you much time. So, write down. Just write down what it is you want. Now, next step. I want you to define the total amount you want to make. By the way, on the comments, write down what it is you want to do. One or two things. Don't list 27. What do you want to do? If your goal is to make some money by the end of the week, what are you going to be photographing? Just give me one thing, just so you can focus. It's more an effort in focusing on one or two things so that you can really put your time and effort and do something positive with this, make something actually happen. If you've got too many things, you've thinned yourself out way too far. You'll lose that money and motivation if you have too many things on your to-do list. You'll get overwhelmed. All right, events, perfect. Yeah, tell me what it is you're thinking about doing. Now, number 3, next step. Start by defining the actual amount that you want. What do you need? What do you want? Now, you got to consider that a third's going to go to taxes, a third's going to go to expenses. You're approximately, obviously it's going to be different for different things. You have money that you are bringing in that you don't get to keep because you have expenses, because you have taxes to pay. All right. So write down the gross amount that you want to make. Write down some notes. What do you want to make? What are your financial goals? Let's say you want to do a mini session over the weekend, and your goal is to do, you need $1,500. All right, write down $1,500. There's your quick money number. We're not talking about annual. I will be happy to talk about annual. In fact, if you want to on your own, reach out to me. Go to, oh, you know what? I don't want to put that there. Let's see. I'm going to put that in the comments. I give a free session on your price list, on your business assessment. It's about 30 minutes. I call it a business assessment a consultation. I'm going to put the address here in the comments. There you go. So if you guys want to talk about your own numbers, annual numbers, your price list, whatever, then click on that and get on my schedule. It's free, so kind of like this show. And it's one of the things that Amanda and I do to help uplift the photography community. I thoroughly believe that if we are all pricing what it is that we do at a rate that causes us to reach our goals, then our numbers that some people look at as price gouging will start to look normal. We'll start to normalize the norm in photography. By the way, I can prove to you at $150 you're going to go out of business. Those who are selling your work 150, 50, 100. I keep seeing this all the time. What are you actually expecting to do? You're not going to reach your goals at such low numbers. I mean, if you've got $150, but $50 is going to the government, $50 is going to your expenses, you got $50 left. At $50, how many are you going to have to do before you reach any goal? $50 is just not a lot of money, guys. So I'll help you. It's just math. It's really easy, but it also is something that most creatives, most of us photographers haven't really sat down long enough to understand. I will help you with that. Just just take advantage of my free business consultation. And no, I don't have time to sell you anything. I will be spending the entire time going over your stuff. If you ask, I'll answer your question, but it's not a sales call. It's thoroughly to help you with your business. And I'm sure there's some of you who are watching right now who've taken advantage of that. It's fantastic. Take advantage of it. I really hope you do. All right. Good. I'm glad you're putting those. I'm looking at some of those comments. Events. Hey, Francis. Glad you're here. Liliana. Good. Sweet. Boudoir and Suite 15. Okay, good. Awesome. Kinsey. Oh, good. Yeah. And that's a pretty normal number. I see that number a lot. So again, I want you guys to put in the comment section what you specialize in or what you want to focus on, at least for this lesson about making some quick money in photography. What is going to give you that money motivation? One thing, just so you can focus. I'm not telling you that you have to chisel it in stone and can't do anything else. I'm just saying focus on one thing at a time, because you really don't multitask. I know you think you do. You can wash clothes, put them in the washing machine and check your email at the same time, and maybe even watch the news. Okay, you can do 3 things at one time, but are you really? You can do one thing at a time. Focus on just one. Besides, it's so much easier to learn when you're focused on just one. So write down what it is you do. Oh, thanks, Ruben. Appreciate that. Seniors, Sylvia. How are you doing, Sylvia? I'm glad you're here. I see Giroux, sports photography. Yep, good. A lot of them good. It's worth it. Yeah. Okay, good. Glad you guys are posting there. Again, I want you to post what one thing you're going to focus on for this lesson. You can change your mind, but one thing that you're going to focus on for this lesson. Next thing on our list is either so if the amount of money you want to make is $1,500, you're going to have to multiply that by 3 in order to get $1,500. And that's because you have expenses. This will cost you some money to do. So up to a third, and it's an average. It may cost you a lot less in expenses. It could cost you a lot more. It depends on what it is you're doing. That's why I can't give you an exact number there. So let's just estimate at a third. Your income, as far as your income, it's about a third. So we're putting that number there. So that's why I'm saying times 3. Now, because you have expenses, it actually does reduce it. So it won't be quite that much, but still, let's just make it easy and multiply that number by 3. Number 4, next step, define your target market. Who do you want to work with for this quick money assignment? Who do you want to work with? Just define the type of person. Describe your perfect client. Be specific. Write it down. When you target a very specific, well-defined niche market, it's easier to stand out in general, especially though for the quick money. Plus, if you do this completely, it tells you where to find these prospects. When you know exactly who it is you're working with, you know where they're hanging out. You know what it is they're doing. You know where to get their attention. Number 5, define how you reach that target market. This quick option. If you choose a mini session, make it something that does not require a design consultation, a planning session. Planning sessions take time. I do them on my full sessions every time. In fact, I won't do a family portrait session, a full family portrait session without a design consultation, a planning session. But if we're doing quick money, if we're doing a mini session, different story. I want to reduce time. So therefore, I'm taking things out that I don't absolutely need. Choose or create what you want to photograph. For the quickest response, you're going to be very specific. You're going to give it both a time and a number of sessions that you have available, a limit. That way you have given that sense of urgency. I mean, it's true, you're not making it up, but you have a sense of urgency. I am going to be photographing 3 whatever it is you're going to be photographing on Saturday. I only have room for 3. You've got to sign up now before I'm not able to do this any longer. Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 8, whatever your number is, give it a limit. Know exactly what you're going to do. This is on your timeline too, by the way. For quickest response, be very specific and give it both a time and a number of sessions available limit. No prices. We want to convey emotion, value, and give them a reason to contact you. However, if your goal is to do something really cheap, really quick, if you have a very low price, then do include the price. If the price is one of the differentiators that stands out, then do that. Whether that is a high number or a low number. There are some photographers, very few, that have extremely high prices, and that is something they actually will share, but not a lot of them. So in some instances, share prices. In other instances, you don't. By the way, if you want to discuss your specific situation, then use that that link that I gave you and sign up for that free business assessment consultation. If it's just further up in the post. And so I see several of you are still sharing. That's good. Okay, boudoir and good. You're targeting women ages 18 to 55. Good. I see that. Perfect. Perfect. Good, you guys. Thank you for sharing that. People invest in photography for emotional reasons, not logical ones. I think you guys know this. If you didn't figure that out on your own, you've heard me say it before. I've heard other photographers say it before. I didn't come up with that. So it's important to find an emotional approach in creating and designing your marketing. So based on who it is you want to work with, based on what it is you want to photograph, from the client's point of view, what will cause them to have this, to want this now? You have to define that. Don't define it from your point of view. I mean, for yourself, yes, of course, you define it from your point of view. But from the marketing standpoint, it's got to be from your client's point of view. What do they want? What's going to cause them to do this right now? Again, we want quick money. We don't want them to think about it. Now, define the average sale. I have 3 lines listed here. I only want you to use one of them. Now, as far as doing multiple, you want to do one now, you want to do one later. Okay, maybe you have several different things that you put here. But if you've got one thing, sports, family, boudoir, I see several of them that you've listed here in the comments. Write the one thing there. What's your current average sale? Not everybody's going to know their current average sale. Those of you who've been doing this for a while, you should know your current average sale. You should know that information. But I understand that some don't, and I understand some people are too new to have this yet. And it may not have crossed your mind, but know your current average sale. How many are you going to have to do in order to reach that goal that you specified just a little while ago? We have to divide that number that you want to make by your current average sale to know how many you have to do in order to reach that number. Simple math. Number 7. This is where the price list comes in. You're defining what it is that you're going to do, but you're also going to define what it is you're going to sell. Sometimes it's just a package deal and they take it or leave it. Other times they have the ability to look at those things afterwards, at the images afterwards, and buy some afterwards, either post and pray or in person, whichever it is that you choose to do for this. I definitely like having something for them to buy. I generally don't sell digital files for my family portrait work. For headshots, then that's usually what it is that they get, because that's what they need for their LinkedIn profile, for their Facebook profile, whatever, their business website. So of course that's what they need. Eliminate the options that have that take a lot of time from this particular price list. Again, this is your quick money price list. Take away the options that take a lot of time. For example, the average wedding takes, you guys are going to be surprised by this if you didn't know, the average wedding takes 74 hours. Now, if you're new at this, if you've only been doing this for a year or 2 or 3 or 5, you'll look at that number and say, what? Where would you spend that much time? Well, you don't know what you don't know. You continue to evolve and grow and learn, don't you? So you add things to what you do because you care about your client. So yeah, the longer you're doing this, the more time it takes, not the less. Now there are areas to cut to make things a little bit shorter, and there is software to shorten turnaround times. But on average, it takes about 74 hours. Now that's from the first moment you've talked to the client. You go back and forth. You don't sign them up immediately. They've got questions. You've got answers, hopefully. But it's back and forth emails or in-person visits or site visits. There's just things going on until they become a client. Then become a client. And there's all kinds of things that go on before then. You've got the engagement portrait session, the bridal portrait session. If you're doing those things, all the prep that you have to do, the session itself, which only is an average of 4 to 8 hours. The weddings are short, but the average wedding here in this market in San Antonio is $4,200. That's the average. Now, I know there's a lot of photographers that are charging half of that. I can mathematically prove that if you, unless you're cutting corners, and that's, you may not even know that you're cutting corners, by the way. Again, if you haven't been doing this very long, you can't know what you don't know yet. You evolve over time to know that stuff. So I don't expect you to know everything. You are cutting corners, you just don't know it. That's just how it is. So from your point of view, you aren't. From your point of view, and you are correct, by the way, you care about your clients. You're doing everything in your power. You want the best for them, and you're giving them your best. Your best is going to evolve over time. If you've been doing this 10 years, are you better than you were at year 2? Well, of course you are. Yeah. That makes total sense, right? All right. So average 4,200. A family portrait takes an average of 21 hours. You're probably thinking, what would I do with 21? It's everything, guys. From the moment they send you a text, an email, a phone call, the back and forth emails, the back and forth phone calls, the planning session, the site visit, the session itself, the post-production process, the showing of the photographs, the processing of those images, sending it to the lab and then getting them back, and then processing those images. I put a sticker on the back of mine, identify what that print is. I sign the front and I package it, and then I deliver it to them, and wall portraits I install on their wall. It takes me an average of 21 hours to photograph a family portrait. This wouldn't be considered quick money. This takes me too much time. But I want to point out the high profit versus time ratio, Because even though my average sale or an average sale in San Antonio market is $4,200 for a wedding. That's average Joe. If you're a restaurant, we're talking about Chili's. I mean, it's not the McDonald's level, but it's also not the steakhouse level. It's average Joe, Chili's. If you take that number 4,200 and you divide it by 74, what number do you get? 4,200 divided by 74. Maybe some of you are quicker than me. Is $56.75 an hour. Let's do the family portraits. Average sale in San Antonio is $2,000. Divide that by the number of hours. It's $95 an hour. Which one's more profitable? It's not even close, guys. Just because that number is higher with weddings does not make it more profitable. Portrait photography is much more profitable than wedding photography. Assuming you do it right, assuming you're at the average Joe level. So this is for full sessions. I want to make sure I'm pointing that out. I'm only giving this as an example so you can see it in your mind or write it down and see it as you're writing it. Next, define how many sessions and in what period of time you're going to be photographing these mini sessions. Choose the deadline, a fairly short period of time usually. This causes them to respond quickly. I want this to happen now. You want this to happen now. It's quick money. You don't want them to put it off until later. So because if they don't act now, it's going to be too late. I mean, that's that cliche you hear on TV or other places, but this is actually true because you're doing it on this date. Define the number of sessions you are going to have available or you can accept, however you want to say that. Then refine, update, and add content to your client process timeline. This is from their point of view. Once you go through this process, you'll realize some things you might have missed. And so go back to it, refine it. Do the same thing with your own process. Refine it. All those steps you take from the initial contact to the time when they have received their order. Next thing, the offer. Define a call to action, a catchy headline. If there's one thing that could be considered the most important, it's the headline. And I've seen a lot of ads that didn't even have a headline. It was just, you just started telling people what you're doing. It'd be like a book without a cover. You don't just, you need that cover. You need that thing to draw you in. Got to have a headline. Have a headline for everything. Have a name for everything. Every one of your products, give it a name. Not just the $5,000 version. Give it a name. Next. Oh, by the way, I commented in here that it's more important than your logo. It's way more important than your logo. People don't care about your logo. You're the only one that cares about your logo. Oh, maybe in your mom. But that's about it. Maybe your best friend. All right. Come up with an added value, a bonus, a gift. But I don't think free photographs should be one of them. Maybe you found a way to make that work. I see that as being the JCPenney photo place where you come in, you get a free 8x10. Guys, that has been done for over 100 years. You think a creative person could come up with something a little more creative. But if that's what you want to do, if that's what works for you, you do that. More power to you. Example, photography related, frame, special presentation folder, a photography planning service, a scouting session. Not photography related could be theater tickets, symphony tickets, dinner for two, a gift certificate to a jeweler, a gift certificate to a florist. By the way, these gift certificates to the jeweler, to the florist, there's times when I've made arrangements with the florist where I didn't pay for that. They used it as one of their marketing efforts. For years, I worked with a florist in Alma Heights. My office used to be in Alma Heights. That was a while back. I moved to the Dominion area in 2003, so it's been a while back. But I worked with but prior to that, I worked with a florist in Dominion, and every single one of my brides, I provided fresh flowers for her bouquet for her bridal portrait session. I never paid for a single one. That florist used that as a marketing tool to help get the florist business from that bride. Marketing, guys, it works. And I can help you with that. I've got a free business assessment consultation. Just reach out. It's easy. All right. So create the marketing graphics, the images. Obviously, you have to have some images. Video really works, guys. If you don't, this is quick money, so videos take a little bit extra time, maybe just stills, but you have to have images. You have to show what it is they're going to get. And then afterwards, you're going to collect testimonials and reviews. If you've got some testimonials and reviews, those do help. Some people read them, some people don't. But when's the last time you bought a product and didn't read the reviews? They do work. All right. 4 goals of marketing message. 1, your target market prospect opens and clicks your message. Obviously, we want them to do that. Number 2, they actually read it. 3, they understand. You have educated them, which causes them to become qualified to take the next step. And then number 4, whatever you have defined as the next step, that's what they do. These are your 4 goals of your marketing message. So number 9, database. If you don't have one already, you need one. Please have a database, and use one of the software programs that are made for photographers. So that's Pixify and Dubsado and Honeybook, and I've heard that Sessions is good. Sessions may be perfect for this kind of quick money. It probably might be the best for that, because it's kind of more geared towards the mini session. But so is something like Swift Galleries and Sticky albums. I really recommend Sticky. Look at Sticky. The owner is a fantastic guy. His name is Nate Grahek. And so any of the Sticky products, Sticky, just STICKY, Sticky, fantastic for this kind of thing. Perfect for this kind of thing. Number 10, Smile and Dial. This is a quick way to make money. In fact, I would recommend that you call between 3 and 10 people every single day as just part of your normal doing business. Now, this is just checking up on them. They're your friends. You care about your clients. This is one thing that's cool about creatives. We care about our work, and we care about the reception of it. And we care about our client. We want them to be proud of it. We want them to love the things that we create. We actually form good bonds with our clients. We know who they are. If we have a good memory, we know their names, maybe even the kids' names, the spouse, the dog, the cat. Call them. You have this database. Set aside 10 minutes of your day to call 3 people, 10 people, even better. I mean, by the end of the week, you've called 50 people every single week. All right. So Smile and Dial. Call every one of the people in your database, even if they don't fit your target market, because you're just calling to let them know what's going on. What's this next thing that you're working on? But you're also asking about them, and you're taking notes on that, so that the next time you call, you can, let's say they said we're going on vacation next week, and you call back, or let's say they're going vacation at the end of the year, and you call back sometime after that, and you say, oh, hey, by the way, how was that vacation that you took in Greece or wherever? They're going to be amazed that you remembered. That kind of bond is a long-lasting one. Smile and Dial. And I think you should either stand or sit up straight while you're doing this Smile and Dial. And I believe that you should document the calls. So create a log. Okay. If you have just a few, you can remember it, but you won't. You're going to be calling a lot, so you need a log to be able to do this. Number 11, 12, we're getting close. Email, social media marketing. Create your marketing message. The emails or the posts. Give them more than just one way to respond. Email, phone, web form, whatever it is. For quick response, though, have a link where they can just click to your calendar and pick a date and then pay for it with that. And you can do that with Sticky, the one I mentioned earlier. Sticky albums. Sticky is fantastic. Decide how many of each and create all of the emails and posts. So you are going to be sending out emails, so create them ahead of time. You're also going to be sending response emails. Write them ahead of time. Run the marketing message. Track the results. You're going to become really good at this. Notice I said you're going to become. The very first time you're going to have good results. You will. If you do all these steps, you will. But you're going to become even better. You're going to get to the point where you say, I have 5 spots open for this special project not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. And you're going to send that message out. And within a couple hours, your schedule will be full. It's going to happen. If you use these steps and you evolve because you keep on getting better and better, because you've tracked it, you know what's happening and you can improve on it. Number 12, the last step. Put everything on your timeline. Go back to that timeline that we talked about at the beginning. Plan to make sure those steps, those processes make sense and nothing seems to be missing. When you can just look at it, it makes sense. Now, I see a question here. Sylvia said a gift. This is something that you might want to do. This is something that I would say experiment with. It's not something that I do every time. It's something, in fact, it's something I don't do very often. But a gift is just something that gets the attention, whatever it takes to get their attention. And it needs to make sense with what it is you're doing. That's why I've got these different things as ideas just to get your mind in that direction. So, theater tickets, symphony tickets, dinner for 2, if it makes sense. So make it go along with what it is you're doing. I like to do this with another entity where I am maybe photographing at the florist shop, or I'm photographing at the jeweler, or I'm, there's something I'm working directly with so that it benefits both parties, and I'm leveraging their list because they're going to send it out to their list too. There's some bonus information that I wasn't going to share, but I just elaborated a little bit. Business assessment consultation. It's free. Take me up on it. And let's see. Liliana said, give examples of headlines. All right. So Liliana, obviously that is going to be quite different, but it has to be short and attention grabbing. It depends on what you're going to do. So I would need something kind of specific. Like I've seen lots of different. You know what? Here's the best way. Go through ads on purpose. I know. Go through ads on purpose and just look through them. There's going to be some of them that catch your attention. You're going to say, you're going to go through this listing of ads, and some of them, the majority of them, you're going to go swiping right on through. Just keep on keeping on. There's nothing. And all of a sudden, boom, something catch your attention. You're like, oh, what's this? Make note of what caught your attention. Make note of that. It's a great exercise. Don't do this once. Spend an hour doing this. And every single time you come across one that gets your attention, write down what the heck it was that got your attention. Was it something they said? Was it an image? Was it a video? What was it that caused you to stop? Because you're going to attract people that you like and that like you. So therefore, telling you what the right headline is I'd have to be doing this as a private session. But using this exercise, going through ads on purpose and stopping it, whatever ones just cause you to stop. Don't randomly scroll and stop where you stop. I'm not, this isn't Russian roulette. Just go through and catch the ones that catch your attention, that stop you. You go, oh, what's this? Write down what it was that caused you to do that. What caused you to pause? Because those things that got your attention are also going to catch the attention of people that you like. So that's sorry to not give a very specific answer to that question, but that is the exercise that I give for that, Liliana. And thank you for asking that question. All right. So awesome. It's fun keeping up with the comments and doing your presentation at the same time. It's fun. I kind of like it. It's a challenge. So those are the 12 steps. Again, some of them you're going to be employing, some of them you're not. For the most part, you're going to be employing all of them. But your next step is to implement this plan that we've created. I mean, listening to me talk about it, good. Going through all the steps that we talked about, better. But none of that matters until you do the third thing, and that's implement that plan. Make it happen. I've come across many photographers who are wonderful at listening and gaining information. They're sponges. They're wonderful at being sponges. And you have to be. But you can't stop there. You actually have to do what it is that you just learned. So create that plan. But then again, there's a lot of photographers that stop there and they don't get around to the implementation stage. You know what? This is not unusual for us. We are creatives. We have anxiety. It's part of us. But we have to get past that. If you're going to commit to being the sponge, learning, listening to what I'm saying, and then going through and making a plan based on what I was saying, this is all fantastic. But what makes your business work? What causes that quick money to happen? What gives you that money motivation is actually implementing the plan. And guys, that is the most exciting part. When you start seeing those dollars coming in, and they will come in quickly when it's done correctly. By the way, you're probably saying, well, what if it doesn't? I understand. You have done marketing efforts before. Probably every single one of you. Have all of them worked incredibly well beyond your wildest imaginations? No, absolutely not. They haven't. Why? You know what? The seeking of the answer to why is what makes a wise person. Everything you're doing for this, analyze it. Every single step. How could I have done better here? How could I have done better there? What things can I tweak to cause this to be better? And then redo it. Do it again. Maybe the first one doesn't turn out the way you want. There's going to be a reason for that. And by the way, if you're trying to go this alone, there's so many resources out there. I'm willing to help. Others are willing to help. There's YouTube videos on it. Don't do this alone. I struggled for years. I shouldn't have. There's so many resources out there. And I did go and visit lots of photographers. I don't know. I felt like asking them certain questions may be going too far. It's not. They want to uplift you. Ask those questions. What are you doing here? What are you doing there? And if it's too general, they're going to have a hard time answering it. So make it a very specific question. What do you actually need next? And this will work for you. It will. I've seen it work so many times. So I want to make sure you guys are aware. The annual San Antonio Photography Tournament is coming up October 17th. That's the day before Elevate Exhibition. The annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. This is the 9th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. This is a fun tournament. It's not serious. It's not just for pros. In fact, a lot of pros don't show up to this, probably because they're scared about getting shown up by the amateurs. But don't worry about that, because it's kind of anonymous. The only time when something is seen is when the winners are announced. That's the only time when other people hear your name. So they won't even know you're there, really. So it's done via Zoom, which is kind of cool. We did it last year via Zoom. We're doing it this year via Zoom. And it is a virtual tournament. It's the Instant Gratification Photographers Tournament. And what we'll do on Sunday, October 17th, is you'll go to the Zoom link at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll read off the rules, and then we'll give you the 15 categories. This isn't something you prepare ahead of time. This happens day of. You don't know what the 15 categories are going to be until you're there that morning. So you get that list, you go out and you photograph, and you get them back during the mornings, because the judges start at noon. They start their job at noon. So nothing afternoon. You've got to get it in before then. But upload up to 15 images. You can do just one if you want to, but up to 15 of the 15 categories. The judges take a couple of hours. So around 2 o'clock, we will announce the winners. Again, Instant Gratification Photographers Challenge. This isn't a popularity contest where you are asking your friends to like it. I mean, you can do that on your own, but it won't do anything to help. I certainly encourage you to do that, but it won't help you in the ranking, because the judging will have already been done by that point. So we announce the winners, we have certificates, and we even have prizes. And Digital Pro Lab is one of the major sponsors. Landers Photography School is, and there's a handful of other sponsors too that are donating prizes. And so I definitely recommend and encourage you, at least check it out. saphotoevents.com. It's only $39 to participate. So it's a cool, fun morning. You'll be glad you did. We've had as many as 125 photographers participate in this. And because it's virtual, you can be anywhere. You can be in the San Antonio general area, but you could also be in Alaska if you want to. I think there's one person watching from Alaska. That's why I said that. But anyway, you can be wherever you want. So definitely check out the annual San Antonio Photography Tournament. You can join it from anywhere because it is virtual. I also want to encourage you guys to join me for lunch every week. I take one photographer to lunch. I buy. You don't have to buy it. You do have to show up. So it's not like it's totally free. You got to pay for your gas. But I buy lunch. It's every Tuesday, every single Tuesday. Now I am booked for this month and next month. But I think I have dates in November that are still available. So I encourage you to do this. In fact, I will put that in chat. Let me put that in chat real quick. And I'll post that. Lunch with Landers. So you should be seeing that in the news feed right now. Feel free, take me up on lunch. By the way, if you want to do this, but it's not on a Tuesday, that's fine. I'm buying on Tuesday. If you want to buy on some other day, you just want to pick my brain, then if I'm available, I'll definitely allow you to buy me lunch. But Tuesdays every single week, I buy somebody lunch. Any other day, you can do it. And I am happy to do that. I love it. So that's Lunch with Landers. And then I wanted to make sure you know my website is landersphotoschool.com. Landersphotoschool.com. We have a manual mode class going on this evening. And we have a marketing class on mini sessions tomorrow evening. We have a lenses class on Wednesday. And Thursday is it's a private class for our career photographers. So that one's not available to anyone else, but landersphotoschool.com. By the way, if you are not on the Landers Photo School email list, this is where you find out what's happening, what's going on. And so go to landersphotoschool.com, and up in the top right, it says get updates, get email updates maybe. Click on that and add yourself to the list. That way every week you know what's going on. So that's at landersphotoschool.com. I also want to invite you to the Camera Club Photo Essay. Just go to meetup.com/photo essay to join. You can also in Facebook just search Photo Essay, and you'll find us that way as well. But every single month It's a monthly. Every single month we bring in a speaker. And next month's speaker, October, we've already had September. Next month's speaker is going to be speaking about underwater photography, which might be kind of fun. It's not underwater portraits though. She is a researcher on the Oceanic NOAA, and she's going to be sharing what it is she does while she's doing this research out in the middle of the ocean. So this would be kind of fun. You probably don't come across those kind of underwater photographers very often, but she lives in San Antonio, and I've known her for years. She's actually a member of the Photo SA Camera Club, and so she's going to be doing the speaking next month. So I definitely encourage you to go to Photo SA and join. And there's probably a bunch of other things, but I want to make sure to mention that Digital Pro Lab is giving 15% off on all orders if you're part of Elevate Exhibition, which obviously I'm encouraging you to be a part of. ElevateExhibition.com is where you get that information. And they're also giving 50% off of monitor calibration. I don't know how often you guys calibrate your monitor, but it is something important. You do have to do this. If your images, when you get them back from the lab, don't look exactly like what you expected, monitor calibration. There's your solution. And most monitors can be calibrated. There are exceptions, but take advantage of that 50% off. Yeah, Digital Pro Lab rocks. All right. Cool, Rick. I think Rick is one of the next ones. Let's see. Yep, Rick is. I'm having lunch with Rick tomorrow, so I look forward to having lunch with you tomorrow, Rick. That's funny. I like lunch. I like to eat. So I believe that concludes this episode. So for Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, this is Jim Landers bringing you the Portrait Profit Show, giving you evolving content, awareness, and even fun to the business side of photography. We provide helpful information, step-by-step processes, how-to articles, and action steps that will help you with the struggles you deal with today so that you are constantly realigned to the path that leads you to the success you deserve. I appreciate you guys being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.